You know, it's downright captivating how we people navigate existence. We go through our days with our fists clenched hard, grasping desperately at whatever we can hold on to. Cash, connections with others, future schemes, notions of our ideal selves, the goals we chase, the outcomes we demand. Then we puzzle over why we're so drained, so on edge, so endlessly unfulfilled. It's akin to attempting to hold water in your open palms. The harder you clench, the quicker it escapes your grasp. Yet if you cradle it softly, the water stays put, calm and invigorating. Today, I'd like to share with you one of the most freeing realizations you can uncover in this life. The more you release your hold, the richer life becomes for you. Not poorer, but fuller. And I'm not spinning this as some ethereal vow or divine trade-off. I'm presenting it as a tangible, evident truth about the mechanics of being alive. But before we dive in, let's pinpoint exactly what releasing entails, because there's a huge misconception floating around on this. Folks assume releasing means turning slack, apathetic, or neglectful. They figure that loosening up will strip away your drive, your concern for people, your knack for accomplishing tasks. That's utter rubbish, total baloney. Releasing isn't about withdrawing from the world, it's about diving deeper into it. It's the contrast between battling the flow, wearing yourself ragged in the resistance, and instead gliding along with it, harnessing its force to propel you ahead. Consider a skilled performer on the violin. Does the player clamp the bow in a frantic vice? Hardly. Their hold is steady enough to guide it, yet loose enough for the melody to emerge freely. Clamp too fiercely, and the notes come out strained and robotic. Grip too slack, and no sound happens whatsoever. There's an ideal equilibrium, a lively harmony between clinging and yielding. That's precisely the mindset we ought to bring to our days. Not the ironclad vice of fear over surrendering power, but the assured ease of realizing that such power was never truly ours to command. See, we operate under this grand illusion that we're the stage managers of the grand universal drama, that with enough scheming, fretting, and micromanaging, we can bend reality to our blueprint. But reality has its own agenda. Existence resembles a mighty stream, and we're mere foliage drifting atop it. We can decide our drifting style, but we can't dictate the stream's course. Someone who hasn't mastered yielding squanders their whole life warring with the flow. They thrash wildly to head against it, exhausting themselves in an unwinnable skirmish. But the one who's grasped the skill of yielding uncovers a wonder. They learn to steer through the eddies. They pick which fork in the stream to take. They might even nudge their path's trajectory, yet they achieve this by aligning with the current, not defying it. Allow me to recount a tale that captures this spot on. There was once a fellow with a stunning plot of land. He devoted every spare second to it, fretting over it, striving to dictate every facet of its development. He'd loom above his greenery, insisting it sprout quicker, taller, more splendid. He'd fume at the skies when conditions weren't ideal. He'd toss and turn through sleepless nights, tormented by thoughts of bugs, blights, and potential disasters. And guess what ensued? His plot turned out just so-so, nothing special. The growth appeared dwarfed, tense, missing that innate vigor that elevates a garden to splendor. Then one day, worn down from decades of this tussle, he finally surrendered. Not by forsaking the plot entirely, but by relinquishing his urge to orchestrate every nuance. He kept sowing, irrigating, pruning, but now with a shifted mindset in his efforts. He tended his duties, then withdrew. He permitted the garden to unfold on its own terms. The outcome was enchanting. The foliage started thriving in manners beyond his wildest visions. The plot gained its distinct character, its innate pace, its singular allure. Through yielding his compulsion to dominate, he'd granted the garden room to realize its full potential. This mirrors what unfolds in our own journeys. The more we ease our clutch on prescribed perfection, the broader the canvas for marvels to arise in unforeseen splendor. But here's the truly compelling part. So many of us dread yielding because we fear it'll cost us it all. We believe that without non-stop watchfulness, relentless pushing, ceaseless anxiety, the whole structure will crumble. This dread stems from a core misapprehension of existence's essence. You aren't detached from the cosmos. You're not some lone, fragile entity battling a cruel realm. You are the cosmos manifesting in form, revealing. It positions you precisely in this moment and location. Once you grasp this deeply, not merely on a surface level, but right down to your core, the anxiety about releasing your grip starts to fade away. Consider your pulse. Do you need to consciously prompt it to keep going? Do you stay awake at night, deliberately regulating its tempo? Absolutely not. Your heart pulses on its own, flawlessly and seamlessly, without any input from your aware thoughts. This isn't due to neglect or laziness on your part. Rather, it's because your heart belongs to an immense awareness that precisely understands its purpose. Similarly, your entire existence connects to that same expansive awareness. By surrendering, you're not handing over the reins to disorder. Instead, you're permitting the profound insight of being to operate via you. Prepare to be astonished. The elements you're terrified of forfeiting through release are frequently the exact barriers preventing you from embracing what existence truly intends to offer. That position you're clinging to from dread, despite how it drains your spirit. By shedding your worry over instability, you create space for a role that genuinely satisfies you. Those blueprints you've sketched for how your path ought to progress. By loosening your hold on them, you invite existence to astonish you with options vastly superior to your own designs. This isn't about ceasing to plan altogether, nor does it suggest passivity in your connections or career. It signifies cradling your intentions loosely, much like a bird perched in your open hand, secure yet tender enough for it to depart when the moment arrives. The Chinese embody a lovely idea known as wu wei, commonly rendered as non-interference or flowing action. It doesn't imply idleness. It refers to moving in sync with the inherent rhythm of events. That's the contrast between wrenching at a jammed entrance and discovering the proper method to ease it ajar. The entrance yields regardless. You spot chances that evaded you while fixated solely on your fixed objectives. You draw in individuals and situations that resonate with your authentic self instead of battling for pursuits that suited you poorly from the start. Yet above all, you uncover tranquility, genuine tranquility, not the fleeting ease from securing your desires, but the profound, steadfast calm arising from realizing you're precisely positioned as required, gaining exactly what's essential in each instant. This doesn't guarantee a smooth ride or the absence of obstacles. It does mean confronting hurdles from an entirely new vantage. Rather than suffering as a casualty of events, you emerge as an intrigued dancer in the grand rhythm of reality. Issues transform into intriguing riddles to unravel, not catastrophes to evade. Hardships evolve into chances for expansion, not signs that the universe opposes you. Allow me to reveal a notion that may seem contradictory at first. The greater your surrender, the more you truly gain. Yet what arrives often diverges from your initial expectations, and therein lies its charm. Existence comprehends your well-being more adeptly than you. What will genuinely fulfill you? Your thoughts believe they hold the answers, armed with their tidy checklist. Greater wealth, an improved position, an ideal partnership, acclaim, stability. It pours vast effort into chasing them. But existence, with its boundless insight, recognizes that your real requirement is to evolve into someone capable of wholly embracing and valuing whatever unfolds. Through surrender, you cease obsessing over acquisition, allowing you to discern the marvels already present. And those marvels are remarkable. You possess awareness, the capacity to encounter existence whatsoever. You hold this instant, brimming with its distinct essences and potentials. You have respiration coursing through you, sustaining life effortlessly. You have faculties that detect splendor, an intellect that grasps and innovates, a spirit that cherishes. When you truly perceive this, when you sense the plenitude enveloping you now, your dynamic with desire shifts utterly. You abandon frantic seizing for excess and embrace wholehearted gratitude for the present. And in that shift, enchantment unfolds. Abundance flows toward you, arriving as a gracious offering rather than a hard-won prize. Reflect on those companions you relish most. Are they the perpetually demanding sorts, forever seeking your focus or validation? Or the self-assured ones, who appear content without drawing from you, who share their presence and vitality openly? Clearly it's the latter. Such individuals captivate because they've mastered the art of inflow through outflow, of gaining via release. When you relinquish that intense craving, when you detach from fixating on results, you embody this essence. You transform into the sort that existence delights in bestowing upon. For you're approaching from abundance and faith, not from lack and insistence. Here's a different perspective on this. Picture yourself at a grand banquet, but you're fixated on grabbing every single roll on the table, oblivious to the amazing spread surrounding you. In the end, you walk away still famished and frustrated, gripping your dry leftovers, completely overlooking the true feast. That's how many of us approach existence. We zero in so sharply on gathering and safeguarding the handful of items we believe are essential that we overlook the vast plenty available to us right now. Mastering the skill of release means building faith that the banquet is genuine, that there's plenty to go around, that hoarding isn't necessary since fresh opportunities keep coming. But how do you put this into action? How do you train yourself to loosen up when every urge pushes you to cling harder? Begin modestly. Next time you're caught in a jam on the road, rather than fuming over the holdup, try releasing it. The flow of cars isn't yours to command, but your reaction is. Inhale deeply. Play some tunes. Let the moment recharge your thoughts. Observe how the whole ordeal feels far smoother once you quit resisting reality. When somebody points out a flaw in you, hold off on jumping to your defense. Allow the feedback to sit there without rushing to counter or correct it. You could uncover a nugget of value in it, or see that it reflects their issues more than yours. Regardless, it doesn't have to rattle your calm. If a scheme falls through, reframe it not as a flop, but as an invitation from fate to explore an alternate route. Perhaps it's a superior option. Perhaps it's imparting a vital lesson. Perhaps it's shielding you from unseen pitfalls. Try gripping your views more loosely. No need to ditch your convictions, but ease up on the need to prove you're correct. If others challenge your ideas, respond with interest instead of shielding. Could they hold a truth you've overlooked? Could both sides hold merit? Experiment with your feelings, too. When anxiety bubbles up, resist the impulse to banish it, permit it to linger, dive into it fully. Frequently, once we cease battling our inner states, they shift naturally. Dread might morph into thrill, frustration into insight, grief into empathy. As you hone these minor releases, it gets simpler to ease off the major ones. You start cultivating what I term serene assurance. Give your efforts everything. Craft your strategies. Execute your moves. Then surrender the results to life's broader insight. This won't turn you idle or powerless. On the contrary, freed from draining frets and micromanaging, you free up energy for genuine innovation and output. Unbound to a single result, you spot various options and pick the optimal. Without perpetual self-protection, you can truly tune into life's messages. Something remarkable unfolds when you genuinely master release. You realize you were never truly steering things to begin with. That grip on command you battled to keep was just a mirage. The cosmos has been nurturing you forever. Your pulse keeps thumping. Your breaths flow steadily. Your meals break down smoothly. Your scrapes mend quietly. All sans any deliberate input from you. Grasping this, truly seeing how a vast wisdom beyond your anxious thoughts sustains you, transforms release from a plunge into soaring. The deepest release dawns when you grasp there's no isolated self to relinquish anyway. You're not a lone droplet battling to endure in the sea. You're the sea manifesting briefly as a droplet. Embracing this fully erases any dread of scarcity, for what could the sea possibly forfeit? Yet even if that profound insight feels elusive, you can still apply release in tangible steps, and in doing so, you'll uncover a delight. Existence turns lighter when you drop the heavy seriousness. Without frantic bids to dictate results, you savor the journey. You welcome the unexpected turns. You chuckle at the universe's quirks. You resemble a kid frolicking in a yard, thrilled by each flower that opens, eager for what's ahead, unconcerned if the growth follows some rigid blueprint. And now, the crowning twist of it all. The further you release, the more you find that you possessed it all from the start, not through piling on extras, but by rediscovering the plenty that surrounded you always. The affection you pursued lay in your own power to give it. The safety you hunted was already yours in facing whatever arises. It arrives with poise and serenity. The joy you sought so eagerly was right there, within your readiness to cherish this instant just as it unfolds. I encourage you to start right now. Choose one minor burden you've been holding on to fiercely. A concern, a scheme, an anticipation, a compulsion to prove your point. And softly, as if unfurling your fingers to free a butterfly, release it. Avoid any theatrics or strain. Approach it with the serene assurance of one who understands that what's destined to arrive will, and what must depart will. Then observe closely what unfolds in that newfound openness. See how existence eagerly steps in to occupy it, frequently offering gifts far lovelier than any you might have orchestrated. This timeless wisdom, shared softly by ancient wise ones across eras, reveals that you needn't strive for affection, battle for stability, or clutch at bliss. These are inherent to you from the start. They flow toward you effortlessly once you cease obstructing them with anxiety and rigidity. The greater your surrender, the richer life's offerings become, not as prize for virtue, but as the inevitable outcome of clearing away the barriers to what sought you all along. So, release your grip and discover the essence of vibrant, extraordinary living. The current stands ready to buoy you. Simply cease resisting and allow yourself to drift.